everyone, it's me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living here in the UK for the last 7 years. That is no longer true. I have now been a foreigner in the UK for 8 years. 8. And let me tell you, it has not always been good. You guys asked some really spicy questions about my life here in the UK as a foreigner, why I'm here, what the British are really like, and I'm gonna answer them all. Now, before we begin, I thought I would make a cuppa. I suggest you do the same. Make a cuppa, get yourself comfortable, because we have some controversial questions to answer. So without further ado, let's go. Just kidding, there is further ado. I actually need to make a cuppa. Now, while that's steeping, how cute is this teapot, by the way? Can you see it? It is a nightmare to clean, let me tell you. While that's steeping, let's start off with a very spicy question that I got often. I got it on my laptop. Probably should have put these on my phone. We'll do that in a minute. I have a question I keep asking. How come no one ever appears in your videos? I think there's one video that is the exception in several years on YouTube. I ask because you are the only YouTuber I follow who is like this. Well, are you guys ready for my first hot take? I think as a society, we have grown accustomed to consuming every little bit of a stranger online. It is normal for content creators, for influencers, for YouTubers, like anyone who makes content, it's become normal that it's almost expected for you to share everything. Share your children, like include children in photos and videos and like personal details about them, include details about your partner, include them in stuff, your spouse, your family, your parents, your friends. Like, we've gotten to a point now where it is expected that you include everything. And my hot take is that is bad, both for the creator and also for the viewer. I don't include my partner because, frankly, it's none of your beeswax. I think it is harmful to include every little bit about your personal life, but I also think it is harmful for the viewer to just be consuming all this information about strangers online. You don't need to know it. It's not relevant to content or entertainment. It's just, I think it's too much. So I decided many years ago that my YouTube channel was me, it's my videos, I am in them, and I keep my family and my loved ones separate. But I get this question all the time. I get some really nasty emails actually from people being like, why won't you include your partner? It's none of your business. Respectfully. I also think there is an element that I get a lot of criticism about my personality, my body, my content, my choices, my opinions. I get all sorts of criticism by posting myself online. But I've made my peace with that, I expect that, but I also don't want to subject my loved ones to that. So no, I don't include my partner, I don't include my family or my friends because that is for me and it's not for you. I will also say to the person who asked this question, you also mentioned that you take screenshots of my videos when I'm wearing glasses to try and see the reflections of people in the lenses. So, how fun for me. Anyway, I think my tea is ready. Are you guys ready for more spicy questions? Let's have a seat. Hello, welcome to the couch. My second home. Let's start with Patreon. So, what's one thing you found in Britain do you wish the people of the North American continent would adopt? Proper breakfasts. Hot take alert, the UK has way better breakfast foods, just in general, than North America. I am a savory person. I would like sausage and bacon and eggs and toast and beans, and I want all of that. I don't want pancakes or waffles or cereal or all the like sweet stuff. I want the savory full English. It's just perfect. What part of everyday life in the UK have you found most strange/confusing since moving here? Brits don't always say what they mean, and that can be very confusing. I don't know, I feel like North Americans are much more direct. They're still very polite, but they are much more direct and they say what they mean, and Brits don't always do that. And that can be really confusing, especially if you throw in like local slang or phrases that you're not used to. and then you also have to decipher what the true meaning is. Confusing. Hey guys, just a quick announcement. This video is sponsored by AG1 and I'm actually really excited about this one. So, backstory. AG1 is a foundational nutritional supplement and my partner has had it for years. So I was like vaguely aware of it, but I didn't really pay it much attention. And recently I was talking to my partner that I want to do something for my own nutrition, but I don't know what. I know that I want to do something good for myself, but I don't know what I want to focus on. And I also do not want to take a million supplements every day because I know I won't do it. And he's like, you're literally describing AG1. And it has been in the kitchen this entire time. AG1 contains over 70 high quality ingredients that supports physical and mental health. For me, there were two major areas that AG1 deals with that I find extremely important for me. First up, focus and mood. So there's some really interesting ingredients in AG1 that help support like mental clarity, alertness, focus, all that good stuff. I find that extremely important. And number two is immune support. So I could always use a little bit of support with my immune system. Don't know about you, but there's vitamin C, there's zinc, there's a whole bunch of really good stuff that focuses specifically on immune health. I know that I wanted to do something for my nutrition, but I wanted it to be as simple as possible. I want it to be one thing. I am not gonna take a million supplements. I just know that I won't do that. And AG1 has really solved that problem for me. So I take my 1 scoop in my AG1 bottle, add about 250 milliliters of water. The colder the better. Really shake it up and then down in 1. And that is literally it. So that is my daily morning routine now. And honestly, after doing this for the last few months, I feel good. And I don't have to go out and try and source high quality supplements. I can drink my 1 scoop of AG1 every morning, done, dusted, and I can move on with my life. And AG1 has put together an exclusive Adventures and Naps deal. You get a lot of stuff, so I've written it down. Make sure to use my link in the description to get started. And AG1 is going to give the community a free 1-year supply of AG vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. So thank you very much to AG1 for sponsoring this video. It is something that I use and it's something that I like. All right, so I hope you can use the exclusive deal that we've got. My link in the description as always, but let's get back to my video. Are you glad that you had some office jobs soon after you moved here instead of working from home full-time from the very beginning? 100% yes. I think life would have been extra difficult if I never worked in an office with British people like everybody else. Don't get me wrong, I love working from home now, 8 years in, but at the beginning, it is so helpful to be in an office or be in an environment with other people. That is how you really truly understand what life is like and what Brits are like and what day-to-day life is like, is when you're surrounded by others and you can observe and experience it with them. Oh my God, how relevant is this question? 100% yes. My spicy take for this one is I like hash browns. I know a lot of people say, oh, hash browns are American. They're good and they should be included 100%. You can keep the mushrooms. I don't need the mushrooms, but I will take the hash browns. Yes, please. How long until you can start the process for British citizenship? So a couple of people have asked about citizenship. It is very difficult and it is very confusing. The short answer is I am not eligible. So you have to live in the UK on a visa consecutively for so many years. And even though I've been here for 8 years, you think, wow, 8. You should qualify at least for indefinite leave to remain, which comes first. I told you it's confusing. I don't qualify for that either because I had to change visas. I actually changed visas 3 times, and every time you change, the timer resets. So even though technically I have lived and worked here legally, if anybody's watching, legally, 100%, I promise. I've been here for 8 years, but actually my timer for indefinite leave to remain and then citizenship is actually only like 3 years. So we got a long way to go. Oh, this one's a spicy one. So online, if you join me on Patreon or Twitch, we call my partner the butler. It's a long story. In answer to your question, no. The butler is not the person I moved to the UK for. Spicy, I know. I told you this video is gonna be spicy. I don't really go into this type of stuff because I don't feel like, it's obviously my story, but it's other people's stories as well. And it's not really my place to share other people's stories on the internet to an audience, you know what I mean? But yes, my partner currently is not the partner I moved here for. It is funny how life works out. Hello and welcome from this chair. This is a little bit close, isn't it? Just ignore that. Next up, I have some questions from Discord. So if you support me on Twitch or on the top 2 tiers on Patreon, you have access to Discord, which is our chat room. So I got a couple of questions from there. What cynical British behavior have you adopted? Complaining about the weather. I can't stop. If you could make any content outside of expat/UK content, what would it be? I love trying new things. And if I could make a whole YouTube channel of just like trying stuff, I would love to. Experiences, food, drink, just all of it. What would today's Alanna most like to go back and tell her younger self if time travel were possible? Oh my God, young Alanna, buckle up. I'm just kidding, that's not my answer. I know it's very cheesy, but I am a big believer in everything is a learning experience, even if it is bad. So I would want my younger self to go through all of the crappy stuff that I have gone through because it has led me here. And even though all that stuff was crap and there's a lot of heartache and difficulties and struggles in the past, I have learned from all of those and I have ended up in a better place because of it. So if I could talk to Alanna back then, I would just be like, hey girl, how's it going? Are you getting enough sleep? That's good. Anyway, just keep on going. You're gonna do just fine. Ooh, this looks familiar. I gotta drink more of this. It's starting to get cold. Oh, let's go to Instagram. I had so many good questions on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, FYI, if you aren't already. Why not? Come on. What is the most annoying thing about British people in general? Spicy take alert. Northerners. I'm talking to you. Every time I post about something like a meal that I had or an experience I had or a visit to a neighboring town or village, I always get comments or emails or direct messages from Northerners telling me that that particular thing is so much better up north. Like I had a lovely lunch with a friend in London. We had fish and chips. It was great. I got so many messages being like, that's not real fish and chips, it's way better up north. Just let me enjoy my thing. How many badgers do you think you could reasonably hold off? 2, like mid-sized, but if there's any more, I will be overrun. Absolute favorite British meal, steak and ale pie with some mashed potato, really actually any type of potato. Maybe I'll take a little bit of veg, but I don't really care about the veg. Beautiful. On a cold, rainy winter's day, steak and ale pie? Just, is there anything better? No. Do you interact with the Canadian expat community? Do they run events? No. I don't know a single Canadian who lives in Kent. If you are watching this and you're a Canadian or you know a Canadian expat who lives in Kent, send in this video, let's meet up, because I don't know anybody. I have met a handful of Canadians over the years. A lot of them tend to live in London, because that's like where, you know, you're young and you're a foreigner, you go to London, totally get it. Not for me, but hey ho. But all of those Canadians have since left. So, any Canadians watching out there, hi. How's it going? What's the most embarrassing thing that happened to you due to being a foreigner? I didn't understand how the buses worked. And that's kind of embarrassing to admit. In Canada, I had only ever taken a city bus once, and it was part of a field trip. So I had never taken the bus by myself, like solo, alone, just to get someplace. Because in Canada, you basically have to drive. You can't rely on public transport, so I always drove. So when I got here, I relied on the bus to get to work for my first job. And I didn't realize that when hailing a bus, you stand at the bus stop, the bus is coming, you stick your arm out, and the bus pulls over and stops for you. So you can imagine that I didn't do that. And I had been waiting for that bus for half an hour. So I'm standing there, it's after work, it's dark at this point because welcome to England in winter, and the bus just drives right past, and I just thought, this is my life now. The thing you most hate about the UK, this is no fault of the UK, but I hate that my family is not here. Like if I could just transport all my family and friends from back home and like dump them here, then it would be perfect. Perfect is the wrong word. The UK is not perfect, and I'm never gonna say that's perfect. I retract that previous statement. But one of the biggest things that I still struggle with is not having my family around, not being part of their daily lives. You miss out on so much, they miss out on bits of my life. That sucks. And there's like no way to change that unless we could do some sort of teleportation situation. How long did it take you to feel settled / normal? So for me, the first 5 months sucked. I call those the 5 months of living hell. I hated it. I cried most days. It was the winter time, so that was really shocking. And I just felt like everything was overwhelming. I didn't know what I was doing. I was working and commuting, and everything was new and stressful. And I was just like completely out of my comfort zone for an extended period of time. And that in and of itself is very tiring, like just emotionally and physically exhausting. But I do remember walking home from the bus one day, sort of 5-6 months in, and I was thinking about what I was gonna have for dinner and like what I'm gonna do on the weekend, and maybe I'll watch a little bit of Catchphrase while I'm cooking dinner. And it was just kind of like, oh, I'm not actively thinking about how I'm living in a foreign country. I'm just living. And that's not to say it'll be like that for everybody. Maybe you move here and you immediately feel at home. I'm jealous. That was not the case for me. But for me, 5 months, 6 months, I started then to feel at peace. Not totally, but I started. Team Marmite or no Marmite? No Marmite. Shocking, I know. I love savories, and I kind of thought Marmite is like the ultimate savory thing, but no, I hate it. And I've tried multiple times. This question was just personal. I don't know what that means. What do you regret most, if anything, about leaving Canada and moving to the UK? So again, family, being away from my family, missing out on important family milestones, the good and the bad. I am not part of that. That's my choice. I made that choice and I get to live with it, even though it is difficult to live with. That is the biggest regret. That is something that I don't think expats fully appreciate, because when you first move, once you get over the scary stuff, you're like, wow, I'm living it up. Life is great. Look at me in a foreign country, living my best life. And then it kind of sinks in like you are doing so without your family and friends and anyone you've ever cared about. They're not there, and they never will be in your home country. Unless, again, teleportation. If someone could get to work on that, I will be an investor. Has anyone ever been outright rude to you after hearing your accent? Yes, actually kind of recently. My friend and I went to the cinema. Now she is American, living in Kent. Went to the cinema, had a lovely time. We were walking back to the train station. We were just talking about the movie, like, you know, as you do. And there was a group of teenagers in front of us, and all of a sudden they sort of stopped on the sidewalk, and I guess they were saying goodbye because they were sort of splitting up. And so we were trying to get around them. It wasn't an issue, you know, we're just scooting through. And one of the kids looked at us and said, Yanks. I don't know why, but thanks. Do you ever feel unwelcome here? So, spicy opinion, yes. Although it seems like a distant nightmare, or perhaps if you voted yes, a distant pleasant memory, I was here for Brexit. So I moved to the UK in 2015. Pretty sure Brexit was 2016, so I was here for that. I remember most people at my work were not really concerned. It was like, it's not gonna happen, obviously. I go to bed, I wake up the next day, and it's like, surprise, it has happened. And I will say, rightfully, wrongfully, everyone's gonna have an opinion. There was a lot of anti-immigrant rhetoric around Brexit. Foreigners ruining this country, all that kind of fun stuff. And I'm just like quietly observing all of that. And I've definitely been in situations where someone doesn't know that I'm a foreigner because I haven't said anything yet, but they're talking about that stuff and how disgraceful foreigners are and they're ruining everything and they're taking our jobs and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, hey, that's me. What do you think your life would be like right now if you hadn't moved abroad? I probably would have a very traditional 9-to-5 job. I liked my old job in Canada. I probably would have saved up to buy a house. Whether that would have happened because it's expensive in Canada now, I don't know. But yeah, I think I would have just had a very traditional life path. But in my head, or in my heart perhaps, I think I would have been miserable because I had a little worm in my head, hopefully not a real one, that was like, there's more to life than this. There's more. You need to go out and explore. You need to go try new things. You need to just get out and away and experience. So I think if I had stayed, I probably would have been miserable. Who knows? Because I would have had that little worm in my head telling me that there is more. Not to say that other things are better, and not to say I couldn't have been happy in that life, but the thought was there, you know, the thought was already planted. Hello and welcome to my desk. First thing, a couple people have asked about this. This is our official Adventures in Eps flag. We had a competition on Twitch where community members submitted a flag design and then we all voted on them. And this was the winner. This was Will. Will, shout out. Thank you so much. So this is our flag now. It's kind of folded over. One sec. Is that better? How often do you find yourself absolutely unable to understand a British person due to their accent? So at 8 years now, I no longer hear accents around me, which is weird when you think about it. So in my day-to-day life, when I'm talking to people here in Kent, I don't really hear that voice anymore. But when I start speaking to somebody from a different county or a different region of the UK, it is a different story. But I think I'm like okay as long as they don't use a lot of weird slang that I'm not familiar with, or like they slur their words together. Sometimes Brits speak like really fluidly and they kind of slur the words. That is difficult to understand. Chippy, Chinese, or Indian? It's gotta be Chinese. I don't know if it's just where I am from back in Ontario, but the Chinese food back home sucks. It sucks. It's so much better here. I don't know why. I might even have a Chinese tonight, to be honest. When are you and your fellow gonna get a dog? You've got the perfect personality to rehome a dog from a shelter. I would love to, but not just yet. So we live in this flat. We've been here for 2.5 years? 3 years? What is time? We've been here for a while now and I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. It's been restored to just a beautiful state. We do not have a backyard or a back garden. And where I would really like a mid to large size dog, I don't think it's fair. So we're kind of in a catch-22. While we live here, I can't have a dog, but I really want a dog, but I don't want to move. So eventually. And then all my content is gonna be dog related, just wait. I'm Canadian. Hey, welcome, hello. Planning to move to the UK in the next year. I am afraid of homesickness. How do you deal with it? I think a big part is just accepting that it is going to happen. Okay, it's gonna happen, but you are not going to die. Sometimes when homesickness is real bad, especially like, I don't know if you will be celebrating Christmas without your family. I find Christmas really tough. It feels overwhelming and all-encompassing and like suffocating, but you're not gonna die. You're gonna get through it. It will always be there, but you learn to adapt. So like I've mentioned, I miss my family. That is the worst part about living here. That is the thing that I cannot change. So homesickness is just part of the condition and you just learn to live with it. But also being grateful for the things that you have, being grateful in the present moment. I really love my life. Can I say that? Is that too like boastful? I don't want to be impolite. I love my life. It's not perfect. I fought for this life and I am grateful for what I have. And I will always miss home. It's just how it is. What's the difference between an immigrant and an expat? So, humble opinion, my thoughts. An expat is someone who moves to a foreign country temporarily, maybe a year, maybe a couple of years, you are an expat. It's more short term. You are an immigrant if you have relocated for the long haul. So I consider myself an immigrant. I've been here 8 years. This is my life now. This is my office. This is where I live. I'm an immigrant. Sometimes on YouTube videos or YouTube thumbnails, like the title or the thumbnail, I'll use the word expat quite simply just because it's shorter. Sometimes immigrant doesn't like fit on a thumbnail. It's too many letters. So sometimes I will use expat just because of space, like a title or a thumbnail, and people get really upset. They're like, you're not an expat, you're an immigrant. Don't worry, buddy, I know. It just doesn't fit. What plans / dreams do you have for your YouTube channel over the next few years? This is such a great question, and I don't really know. I never anticipated being here, so I started YouTube because I was not doing that great. I felt very lost. I felt very like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And I hadn't really been interested in YouTube up until that point. And I remember going on a deep dive and I had like a binge evening and I was watching all this stuff and I was like, wow, this is so interesting. And there's so many interesting people out there. I was watching a lot of videos of like foreigners in Korea and I was like, wow, I could do something like this. So I started my channel very much as a hobby. It has certainly grown into something so much bigger than I ever anticipated. And I'm so grateful. These videos would not be anything without you guys. You know, like it wouldn't. We actually recently had our first ever Adventures in Naps meetup in London, which is wild. So I opened that up to anybody in our chat room on Discord. So Twitch subscribers or the top 2 tiers on Patreon, you can go in our chat room. I opened it up to them and about 20 of us went and it was just like kind of a surreal moment. I've been in the UK for 8 years now. I have met so many people that I never would have had the opportunity to meet. I've been able to create hundreds and hundreds of content, of videos, of just like a lot over the years. And I'm so grateful that you guys are here with me and watch. I appreciate some people have been with me for a very long time. What is in store for Adventures in Naps? I don't know. But I'm still gonna be here. I think one of the hardest things with content is to just keep going. And I am committed to just keep going. So I hope to do another Discord meetup in the summertime. I want to continue making content, continue live streaming, continue exploring and trying new things, and who knows what will happen. If you guys would like to watch more content, which would be totally awesome, why not check out this one? I do a deep dive on old British food. Thank you so much to AG1 for sponsoring this video. Helps me out a lot. Don't forget my link in the description. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Also, thank you so much for your questions. Very insightful, very interesting, very spicy. And I hope you guys like this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!